got trouble, honey, is it you? Feel the world under her feet, all the cracks up in the concrete. Take a step back, she's coming through. Maybe looking shady, she's on the run. Maybe just maybe she'll find the sun. I feel that sweet Indian summer, feel the heat. Gotta feel the heat. How did we do it? Sorry. All the live long day, all the live long day. I'll be moving along, singing my song, running around, ain't nothing wrong. All the live long day. Say all the live long day. All the live long day. I said all the live long day.
Hey, how about that? Hey,
That was great.
I don't have all the skills to make all these clips, so I was given this clip by one of my friends, so I figured, well, let's go ahead and start it off with that. In fact, the chef that's in that clip is the racing chef, and Daytona started yesterday, so that was a good deal. Hey,
Wow.
my guest, hey Calvin, my guest today is
Daddy,
Shannon.
I know that.
You know who it is?
Arzola.
Shannon Arzola from the Pop Brothers.
I know.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how we ran into her. Calvin and I were watching The $1 Billion Buyer, right, Calvin?
I know.
Well, I'm telling the audience. You know that already.
Let's tell.
Okay. We were watching the $1 Billion Buyer, and we saw these three characters, Shannon, Octavio, and Chuck, and they were at Pop Brothers, and it was a deal where they were going to sell Tillman Fertitta some pops. So we watched that on CNBC, and a few weeks later, we're in Sam's Club. And we ran into Octavio.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Shannon, I think Octavio and Calvin hit it off pretty good.
They did. And I'm sorry that he can't be here. As you know, we're having a strange weather occurrence for the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're having some sleet rain, so he's trying to get all the stores ready for the cold weather.
Wow.
Hey, Shannon, you can probably make pops outside now, right? Later today,
We'll do that tonight.
your electric bill is going to be on the low side as far as making the pops. Anyway, the one thing, once I knew who y'all were and we did some talking, I found out that you got some publicity in different ways, and I thought that there's a lot of manufacturers that I'm connected to.
You mean research you did?
The research that I did, yeah. There's a lot of people that I'm connected to that are in a similar situation. They have a product and they're wondering, how can I get on national TV, or how can I get into a movie, or how I can get coverage or whatever. And you've kind of hit all the different. You've done it all. So I figured I would talk to you today to see about how you did it.
Gosh, we've been so lucky because this was just an overnight decision to quit our jobs and move back home and make popsicles for a living. So needless to say, we knew that the climate was right. We knew the customer base, and we also knew the price would be right. So we knew if we had those things, my husband's, a chef, we knew he could make them taste good. So we just quit our jobs, moved home. And from there, you have to build your identity. And while we're waiting for, I'm going to give you the abbreviated version, while we're waiting to get popsicles that we can sell, because he had to come up with recipes, I immediately made a social media page, made Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And once we had a logo, I just started building the momentum. Coming soon, trying to drive excitement towards what we were doing. And then as we got popsicles that we knew we could replicate on a regular basis, I started schlepping them around in my car, basically knocking on doors. And so I started out that way. And then once we opened the doors of the store with posts and the support of our community, it just started growing and growing. And then I joined all the chambers, and our tourism commission started publishing a lot of information about us. And then we started getting calls from travel magazines, And then the movie business came knocking, which was fun. We got to be in 2 movies. And then, we've been published in probably 10 national magazines. We made the cover of New Orleans Magazine, which was a big deal for us. And then we've been on Cooking Channel with Beach Bites with Katie Lee. We've done $1 Billion Buyer. And then right before the pandemic, we were going to film another episode for the Cooking Channel called, oh my goodness, Man versus Food.
Oh, I'm glad you remembered because I
Yes.
couldn't help you there. I couldn't help you.
Man versus Food. But we also did an HGTV episode, which was fun. They filmed some of the beachfront bargain hunt in our store, and we did a Mississippi Roads episode, which I loved because I grew up watching that show. And we were not, so just opened a store a year. So we have 3 brick and mortars, and we do business with all the major food service groups like Levy and Aramark and Compass and Morrison's and Ovation, Faber and Co. So needless to say, our wholesale business has exploded as well, and we're a COVID-friendly product. So that has really helped us through this crazy time because we're individually wrapped.
Yeah, the one thing is you don't have 50 popsicles in a box that are all bulk that are loose, so you have them all individually wrapped, which makes it perfect.
Yes.
No doubt.
And yeah, so our industries that we're in, like airports and hospitals and things like that business has really picked up during the pandemic, and that's what keeps us rolling during the cold months, is those institutional customers that we have that have high traffic and inside. And, so that's a way that we've really grown our business.
One thing this year was a rough year for you and I because of the fact that we had to deal with so many hurricanes coming this way.
Oh my goodness.
We got the first one and we got the last one.
Yeah. It was not fun.
No.
Not fun. It definitely wasn't a Katrina by any means, but it was not fun.
Yeah. So the other deal that you had was the other thing that you can take advantage of is the fact that you have all the supplies coming in the port of Gulfport. You have all the fruit you can possibly imagine right there, right?
Yeah, we definitely have bananas and pineapples for sure.
No doubt. But you have a whole bunch of other stuff too, right? Coming in through the port.
We do, and then we also get our real exotic things that the Japanese fruit that we use, and some of the South American fruits we have to get out of New Orleans. But we have a lot of fun, and that's been part of the fun of having the brick and mortars, is that we're making popsicles out of fruit that people have never heard of in their life, like Guanabana and Lulo and Mamey and things like that. So some people come in just to see what new thing we've got, new fruit we have.
And the thing we grew up with is when we grew up, we didn't know what all this stuff was. There was no
Oh my gosh.
what all this stuff was. But the kids today know what a lot of those things are.
And then, yes, and one of our favorites we have is a Mardi Gras, which we are not having because of the pandemic. But the Mardi Gras popsicle is lychee, rambutan, and logan fruit, which are all Japanese and Asian. And then we have an edible orchid inside. So it's beautiful and tastes wonderful. But we'll wait for next year.
Well, one thing I can tell you, when I flew around the country, I would go to the airport, and then guess what? I'd see your displays there. Your free.
Oh, and that's been great because we have branded freezers in 3 states and different facilities. We've got them in airports. We've got them in hospitals. We have them in resorts of all different types, tourist attractions, and museums, zoos, aquariums. We were in the downtown Houston aquarium for a long time with the $1 Billion Buyer. And then we sell at our aquarium that just opened. It's beautiful. And I'm happy to say that we are their top selling food item. So, and at the Hattiesburg Zoo, which, that's part of our wholesale sales side.
Down there.
We went to the aquarium on the second day that it was open. And I guess don't you have 2 flavors there?
We've got probably 6.
6 flavors. Okay.
So it's worked out so well, but we have done a lot of grassroots, just really schlepping and doing all the work that we didn't have the angel investor money for or make big loans to pay for. So we didn't hire marketing firms. We didn't hire social media help. And we just did it all ourselves. And it's a lot of work because we would work all day. My husband would make them, and then I would sell them, and then at night I would post all night long because I'd have to take pictures while I was working. So it just grew. Then we were able to hire someone, then we were able to hire someone else. So now we're up to 15 employees, up to 20 in the high season. Now we have food trucks and a wonderful food truck that we built out of the COVID pandemic. So
Hey, one of the big events down in Gulfport is Cruising the Coast. And
oh my God.
The last time I went there, man, you have portable displays all over the place. I think you had 4.
Well, right. That's 20,000 people that descend on downtown Gulfport in one day. So we have 4 selling carts. And this past fall, we had our food truck front and center, which also served as the DJ booth, because the people that know me know that there's nothing I like more to do than play music and have a disco ball. So those things are on the food truck as well. And we have a line of alcohol pops, which will be available in our store soon. So we have cocktail popsicles as well. Yeah.
That's a change. Let me ask you this. This is a question that I'm always going to ask you is, let's say your top 5 flavors. What's your top 5 flavors?
Best sellers. Oreo, hands down, is our #1 bestseller. Oreo cheesecake.
My favorite one, by the way. That's my favorite.
Yeah. And that's interesting because we actually got permission from Oreo to use the name, which it was hard to do as a small company, but I went through the process and they approved us. And then berries and cream is a big seller, which is kind of like a fruit parfait on a stick. Strawberry is always in the top 5. And then it changes. Sometimes it's Sparks root beer float. Sometimes we have a Jolly Rancher. And then there's always a lemonade. So it could be raspberry lemonade or strawberry lemonade. And then, goes down the list from there. But we have seasonal flavors, so we have pumpkin pie and Italian coconut custard in the holidays, or white chocolate peppermint bark. And then we have the Thanksgiving flavors. We'll have sweet potato pie popsicles. And then we have really decadent things from like tiramisu and bananas Foster. And we have a $1 billion brownie popsicle that's super indulgent. And then we have everything down to vegan and, and meaning vegan popsicles. Almost half our menu is vegan just by default because it's fruit. Right. Yeah.
I think you cover I think you cover a whole bunch of different bases.
Tons.
Especially the healthy side.
Mm-hmm. So you can come in and get something super healthy, or you can come and get something super indulgent. And that's where I live. Like my all-time favorite is the Nutter Butter dipped in chocolate. So the Nutter Butter peanut butter popsicle dipped in chocolate. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Peanut butter. That definitely works.
Yeah.
Okay. I know about the deal about when you started the business. So you and Octavio just quit your job and just decided you're gonna go into detail there. So you just jumped.
Okay. My husband's been in the restaurant business over 20 years. He's run some of the most famous restaurants in the country. Joe's Stone Crab. He was Mike Ditka's GM in Chicago. He had a good big career with MGM, and Joe's Stone Crab. Carmine's in Chicago, which is kind of an icon. And so we knew that we had all the culinary skills we needed. We just needed somebody to handle the marketing and all that, which I did. And we've been in corporate restaurants for a while. I didn't know anything about the restaurant business until I married him. And then we both worked for a restaurant group out of Birmingham. Now they've changed their corporate office to Nashville, but called Fresh Hospitality. It's a great group. And I worked in the franchising side, and he worked in operations. So his job was to go monitor the operations of the corporate-owned stores. And so, make a long story short, we were tired of moving all the time. We were tired of working for other people, and we had seen popsicles in Miami when we lived in Miami, and had been talking about it for years. And so we just decided that we knew we had a grandbaby on the way. We wanted, and so I just woke up one morning and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home. And of course, it's not his home because he's from Spain. But he said, what are we going to do? And I said, let's make popsicles. And he said, I don't know if you realize it, but number one, I don't know how to make them. And number two, we didn't save any money to start a business. And I just said, you know what? You can start a business at home with no money a lot easier than I can anywhere else. So that's what we did. Called my brother, who's got to be the world's greatest brother, because the phone call went something like this. Hey, you know that popsicle idea we've had? He said, yeah. I said, we're thinking about moving home and giving it a try. Do you want to partner up with us? And he said, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, see you tomorrow. and when I hung up, I could hear him say, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's how it happened.
So if you get a chance to see the $1 Billion Buyer episode, you'll see Shannon's brother. He's one of the characters, and Octavio is the other character. So they're in there, and we really enjoyed the episode, and it worked out really, really well.
But my brother doesn't work in the business every day because he has his own business, and he's got 30 plus years experience at building his own brand. So he's been very helpful to us, but we knew that he wasn't going to be able to work day to day in the store, but we love having him as a partner.
It's always good to have extra help, because I tell you, it's like today's a day that all kinds of things can go wrong, and it's always good to have somebody else to ask, what would you do if you were in this situation? And,
correct.
Okay, so the deal with the $1 Billion Buyer, it just happened, right? One day you woke up, you were at the shop, and
and then we did find out that one of our customers sent in an email to the team at $1 Billion Buyer and suggested they visit us because there is a Golden Nugget casino in our area. And one day my husband and I were at the store. My husband was in the kitchen because we made everything at the Gulfport store at that time. We don't need longer because we've grown, but a group of people came in from out of town, and they do that a lot because we're in a tourist area. And so we visited with them for a long time, and they started tasting the popsicles. And then the woman, she turned out to be the executive chef for Landry's, which is the largest restaurant group in the world. Decided to tell us who she was, and my husband was so excited because he loves to talk to other chefs, and they tasted popsicles and they had a great time. And then she said, have you ever seen the show $1 Billion Buyer? And I said, no, we don't. We work all the time. I've never seen it. And she said, have you heard of Tillman Fertitta? And I said, no. She said, have you heard of Landry's? Well, I'd heard of Landry's because I worked for a restaurant group, and the big players in that market. So she asked us if we wanted to be on the reality show, and she explained it, and we told her, no, we're too old. We don't want to be made a fool of on reality television. That's, we've got a lot of work to do, and we should focus on this. And she called again, and then they started calling, and we did a few Skype interviews, and then we decided to do it. And it was a lot of things. It was stressful. It was fun at times. It was, reality TV is not reality. We all know that, but it was a good experience, and we didn't mind the exposure of people seeing us. We got tons. It still plays, and I'll get emails when it plays, and so we enjoyed it. We did business with Landry's for 1 year, and we sold a lot of popsicles, and all over the South Texas, in 9 different facilities. And at the end of the year, we chose to end our contract with them because we knew that we could now, after the upgrades we made to do business with them, we could take that extra equipment and all the things that we had, upgrades we had to make quickly, and take those freezers and place them closer to home and make more money. It made sense to grow along
In
the
your
I-10
backyard.
corridor. Yeah,
It makes sense to grow in your backyard. And I know in the episode you made that long trip in bad weather. What was it, a hurricane or something like that? Y'all were driving down I-10 to get the product delivered, and
Yes, so during the terrible floods in Houston, it was just awful. And my husband was like, "We promised to get these deliveries on time," because they made it extremely clear to us that if we couldn't get the deliveries on time, that we couldn't do business. So yeah,
and you didn't want that to happen, so you did whatever it took to make it happen, and that shows a lot of determination. No doubt about that. Let me go to the Beach Bites with Katie Lee. How in the world did that happen?
That I just got an email from.
Wow.
Yeah, and the same with the HGTV and the other cooking channel show. Yeah, that was very exciting, and easy. That was a very easy shoot. You were there.
Yeah, I was going there to watch it. I would have brought Calvin. I would have brought Calvin to go see it, but I didn't know I was going to be in it, and then I ended up being in it. And it didn't take me long to figure out which one of the pops I was going to like the best. So that's the one.
Mississippi, I got you in.
Yeah. Calvin watches what's going on. There's all kinds of things going on, and I just happened to go, and next thing you know, I was in the thing.
Christmas, Mississippi, I got you in.
Yeah. Calvin, I was out of town at a food show, I think in Cleveland or Chicago or something one time, and Calvin says they got a thing at. They're making a movie called Christmas in Mississippi, and he's telling me about that, and I'm thinking that he can do the movie, so I set us both up, and when it was all said and done, the filming was done in a warehouse, a real hot warehouse, so it wouldn't be really easy for Calvin to do. Okay, so anyway, I did it. I did the first day of shooting, and then the second day of shooting. When I did the second day of shooting. It was out in Jones Park, and that's when I realized. Yeah, that's when I realized that your product was in the movie.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it made the final cut there, but we did another movie, this one's hilarious, Mississippi River Sharks, which was during the during the Sharknado explosion, and we actually did make that, and that was fun. And then we were in another movie. Well, this was 3 movies. It was what was the name of it? Oh, the corn.
She's been in so many things she can't even remember what she's been in.
The Cornbread Cosa Nostra, which is a very these are all B movies, or some are C movies, but they were so much fun, and we actually got our product and our logo, and one of the kids got a speaking part. So that was
wow. Wow. No, but the thing with social media is that if you got just one little piece in the movie and it lasts 3 seconds, you could use that 3-second clip, and then you can put it on all kinds of other social media. So even though they don't see it in the movie, it means something. So it's really good to work with. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're always on the news. Every time there's something big local, you're always involved. I know you have some kind of contest, popsicle contest with the aquarium before it even opened.
Oh no, those were 3 events that I came up with called Penguins and Pops, and it was a fundraiser for the West African, or maybe South African penguins, which you don't think about there being penguins in Africa, but
I didn't know that.
So we hosted them at all 3 stores, but we had to do it outside, and we chose a flat fee, and with that flat fee, you got a popsicle, a photo with the penguins, and so we were able to raise almost $10,000, and they were huge events. I mean, we had We had to have police direct the traffic. There were lines for blocks and blocks and blocks, and it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great.
But you don't get to take a picture with a penguin every day, right?
No, you don't. You don't get to be that close to a penguin, and they're so cute.
But the thing is, the penguin and the pop go so well together. It's a natural.
Yeah, it was fun. I hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, I'm sure that the thing with the aquarium was that this was the craziest year for them to open, because remember, they were open, they're not going to open, they're going to open, they're going to not open, and then just all the equipment that was being sent in to the area with all the hurricanes, and then the animals had to, all the things. It was just so crazy. So I think hopefully we have a good year to where there can be a whole bunch of different events, later down the road without hurricanes.
Exactly. And I think that's just where we live. That's just the price we pay for wanting to live on the Gulf of Mexico.
But hopefully it can't get any crazier than this last year. I mean,
that was crazy.
Look,
I'm
I'm 60 years old. I haven't seen anything crazy like this year. Of course, Katrina was bad and Camille was bad, but that was one storm. But this was every week was another one,
yes.
coming this way. And we always had to prepare for each and every one. And it's hard when you have a lot of employees, it's hard to keep track of all of them, right?
Yeah, let her talk.
Okay, I'm gonna let her talk.
Well, not only that, we sell frozen things. Frozen things don't stay frozen when the electricity goes out.
No, it sure doesn't. It sure doesn't.
So it was very harrowing. Every week we were connecting generators and disconnecting generators, and so it was.
How did you do with the electricity as far as we were out of electricity for like 50 hours or something, 52 hours. How about you?
The only outage we had for our stores was in Gulfport, and well, that's not true. We had a day or two in Ocean Springs and in Bay St. Louis. Gulfport was out for several days. We are one of the largest buyers of dry ice in our area, outside of the seafood industry. So we did have dry ice to keep us going. But in Gulfport, we did take a big loss of product. And so what it told us was that we need to get a generator hooked.
Yeah, definitely.
We need to get one permanently hooked up, so it comes on automatically.
Yeah, popsicles don't do well with. No, I'm talking about. There's a lot of frozen goods that would do well. That could do without electricity for a while, but a popsicle is not one of those.
No. The ideal storing temperature for our product is between -10 and -20. So it's really hard to sustain that.
Yeah,
it's not 32 degrees, right? Yeah.
Hey, it's almost as hard as the distribution on the vaccine, right? Because you got to be really, really cold, really cold.
I know.
Please be careful.
Yeah. So
be careful.
Hello. That's how it goes. Oh yeah.
Be careful. Don't act like a medical doctor.
I'm not a medical doctor. No.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not a medical doctor.
Tell him, Calvin.
No, we're not gonna get into the medical deal. Yeah. Hey, while we're at it, hey Calvin. So how did you like doing your interview, huh, Calvin?
With Mr. Bubba the Bear?
No. Didn't you were just on the news for Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super.
The one thing the funny thing was they picked up on the Pop Brothers the Beach Bites with Katie Lee photo, and you ended up in the news. So in that funny, Calvin's in the news, and then you're in the news.
Thanks,
so
Calvin.
You see?
Yeah, I imagine you in the news. So
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
I gotta tell you, ever since he saw you on the $1 billion buyer, and he met y'all in the store, he's mentioned you quite a few times.
Oh, good.
You give me on XXB. You saw that?
Yeah.
Well, with social media and the news, once you're online forever, Calvin.
See? Told
you. You live for a long time.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well, let's see if I covered. Did I cover everything? I think I
did.
Did I?
Yeah, did. See if you got any comments.
Oh no, I have a congratulations comment here. I think everybody's trying to get ready for the big storm coming, Calvin. I think that's what it all comes down to. So
the pipes.
Well, we're gonna let you go.
Okay.
because I have a feeling, I'm not positive. I think you got a lot of things to do.
I have a feeling
Yes.
you guys gonna have frozen pipe by the end of the day.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of pipes to wrap this afternoon. 3 stores and 2 houses, so I've got to go and do that. So y'all be safe, and thank you for having me on the show. I loved it. It was great.
On Calvin's show, huh, Calvin? The thing about the temperature, as you know, it usually never gets into the 20 territory here.
No,
We
rarely.
live a lot with the the 28 to 32 degree, but 20 is very, very rare, and it causes big
We
problems.
lived in New Orleans for 25 years, so we know.
Well, the one thing about New Orleans is that it's a little warmer, and that's always cool. But when you live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, it's on the cold side. All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank
Say
you.
hello to Chuck and Octavio for us,
I will.
and we'll be around.
Okay.
Okay.
See ya.
Take care. All right.
Bye.
We'll see you. Okay. Bye bye.
Good luck.